We live, baby.
We are here. Wrong time, right place, episode 7. Thank you guys so much. As you can see, I have some guests with me today. Special surprise. I know some of you guys are told last week already. And appreciate y'all getting settled in. Uh, I have my boy Mogwai here, Mike. Um, we never really had the longest kind of relationship, but rather blossoming relationship, you know. And we're out here vibing, doing the thing. And then we have my man Sponge Kobe, one of my best friends. I think I could say both of them are probably really like my best friends now. We talk to each other every day. We doing some great things together.
Hey,
And
I appreciate that.
yeah, of course. And of course my man Big Rocka.
What's happening, everybody? Back another episode. Thank you guys for rocking with us.
Yeah, if you guys want to give a little short intro about yourself, feel free to.
That's on you, Sponge.
Mug, okay. Hello, I'm Kobe. If you guys don't know me, I think a couple of you guys know me in here. My name's Kobe. I'm 24 recently, and I'm from Seattle. I live in here. I've been living in Vegas for like 3 years now, and I think ever since I've kind of been here, I've known Idris. He's always been that solid guy that I've always had in my life, where always been there no matter what, and I'm glad to be able to try my best to return the favor and be around myself. But yeah, I've been streaming and gaming. I've been gaming for many years, and recently just took upon streaming, and it's been fun because we get to interact and meet new people like Mog and stuff. And of course, Charles the Rock. I've known him. Like I don't have a very personal relationship with him, but I do know him, and we're pals for sure. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Thank you.
Mogwai, Mike Rosal, whatever you want to call me. Known Charles and Idris for a while now, but we never used to like really kick it. But as of recently, since we all like cross paths on Twitch and whatnot, we been kicking it more. Streamer for like almost 4 months now. Been gaming all my life as well. In Vegas as well. All four of us are in Vegas, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
For now,
yeah. But yeah, that's it for me. Small kind.
Yeah, the reason why I brought Mike and Kobe on as guests was because we're all creators. You know, we all have some form of creativity that we do, whether it's gaming, music, whatever. Like we've kind of dedicated ourselves recently and all of our lives really to be able to help people with that and really move forward with creation. So that's what our topic is today. What kind of influences us to be creators? How that process goes? We're kind of delving into that. Um, any thoughts, guys?
um,
Go ahead, Charles.
I guess I'll go, and I'll just say for me, being creating things and creating content is a lot of times, it could be a lonely journey. And I just want to say I'm glad to have all of you guys here and have this support in this community that we're building, because that's really important. Because when you first start, and for a lot of people that maybe want to start, it can be an intimidating process because you don't know who's gonna react, who's gonna like it. So it can feel lonely at first, and just even the fact that we're doing this, I think is an amazing thing.
Absolutely, I agree.
hmm
Um, I guess I could have started with a general question. What do you guys What do you guys think is something that held you back from like finding your avenue and actually applying yourself in that avenue?
Um, I think my biggest thing was probably fear of it it not it not being ready, whatever product I was gonna put out, uh, it not working. I always kind of sounds kind of stupid, but I guess what held me back was trying like to be like a perfectionist, where like I wanted to put out the best quality content. But everything I realized later on that everything you put out, your first one's never gonna be perfect or great. You know,
hmm
it's a journey that you have to and a experiment that you have to like just learn as you go, whatever you do.
Right. I'd
Yeah.
probably piggyback off that. It's kind of like a fear thing. Um, kind of just like you're just scared to like put a camera, and people to see you and to like interact with people. Cause like say if you're scared to interact with people like outside, it's gonna be scary to do that like in your own room as well. But I guess it all changes when you just do things and like take the action and just try. Because like if you sat back and never like tried to create stuff, then like people would never know you. You would never get the chance to meet other people, kind of, and expand yourself as a person. So I guess something that held me back was just like just being afraid of myself, mostly, like not like wanting to do that thing, not wanting to do that thing for myself. But kind of as you get going and you like keep going on your journey, you realize like it's something that you need for yourself. Um, and because it'll help you, and then at least as you get better and grow, you can help other people. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Charles, you have any
Yeah.
thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I actually love both of your answers. Fear is like, it can drive you and it can, stop you from doing things. And for what you guys are saying, I think a lot of the times when people are just starting, because I've done this too, like with music, and I still get nervous, like even before I'm about to drop a content, like are people gonna like this or how am I gonna react? But how they're gonna react. But if you never do it, you'll never know. And two, it's like you can't let fear stop you, because like if you let fear stop you, then that wins, and you can never know what you could have done and what you could have created. And a lot of times, I think I try to, like for me, I thought about being that cool guy. I was like, I don't want to go out there and put myself out there. And what if someone thinks I look stupid or look dumb? And now I'm to the point where I don't care. I just I'm doing this because I enjoy it,
Hmm.
and that's like the biggest breakthrough for me. And I love hearing your guys' thought processes and what you guys what worked for you and what didn't work, because yeah, we're all trying to create stuff and um, make things as good as they could possibly be.
Yeah, I think you guys have
Hmm.
some great responses. Um, it is something that is scary, and I just want to remind everybody in chat. Appreciate y'all for being here, and if you guys want to add in the conversation, feel free to do so. We will not skip over you. Yeah, get in that discussion. Please join in. But as far as fear, I think everybody's gonna hit that block, and it's what you decide to do with it at that moment. Because when you actually do decide to push through, I think honestly it feels like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. Because sure, your product may not be perfect or whatever, like Mike was saying, like it may not be perfect, but it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad actually. It's kind of it's kind of easy. Like I could do this, like, but you don't kind of reach that moment until you take that step. And I know me and Kobe were talking about it a little bit the other day, and re- remind me what you were saying, Kobe. It was something along the lines of like the longer you take to make that
Hmm.
step, the less of a chance
Hmm.
you actually do it. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah. It's called technicalities. It's called the law of diminishing intent. Diminishing intent, which means like basically something on your mind, something you want to do, and you think about doing it all the time. The longer you put things off, the longer you procrastinate on something, an idea, or something you're supposed to do in your life, the less of a chance, like in the end, like you will actually do it. So it's like I want to stream, I want to stream, I want to make a song, I want to make a song. If you're not writing the song, if you're not setting up your stuff, if like you're just thinking about doing it as days go on, like there's less of a chance that you're actually gonna proceed and do it. Um, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like do it as soon as you can, like do it yesterday. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think that's so
yeah.
true. Another thing that
That's
was
real.
big for me was like I would always talk about timing. I'd be like, oh, it's not the right time for me to do this. I'll do this next month when I have this. I'll do that when I have, the right shoes, whatever it is. I
Mhm.
was always trying to find an excuse for
Mhm.
myself, like, oh, I need this before I start. I need this before I, move into that. But at the end of it, like,
Yeah.
if you really want to do it, you're going to find a way.
Mhm.
You may not have the best camera, you may not have whatever. I remember there was this rapper I met a long time ago. It was one of my brother's friends, and he was like, um, literally like didn't have a computer, didn't have anything, and he would show me videos and like things that he would do. He told me he would literally pop up into Apple, like you know how Apple has all their computers and stuff. He would literally pop into Apple, use their like microphone straight off their laptop, like record in there and master it all in there. Like he just would use it like a library. But that's just an example of like no excuses. I'm gonna find a way to get it
Hmm.
done, and that's what he did.
Yeah, I like you said that no excuses because that's ultimately what it's gonna be about. Like if you really want to go and create content, whatever that may be, and if that's your passion, um, you need to go and do it, and because there's gonna be so many other people that are gonna push through, and they may have less, but it's not about what you have, it's about what you do with it, and um, yeah, that's where I stand on it.
Hmm.
Y'all don't have the best equipment, but you got to do what you got to do with it and make the best out of what you do have.
Right. Gotta find a way, make a way. I really like that point, Idris. It's really solid.
Yeah,
There's so
thanks.
there's so many people in the world that like have an excuse for like an excuse, and like yeah, I've been one of those people. I'm sure we've all been that person where it's like, oh, everything is not perfectly lined up. You know what I mean? But you'll never have everything perfectly lined up. Like it'll you can get to the point where it's really good, and you should probably do it at that point. But it's never gonna be perfect timing. So you just gotta go for it. You gotta send it. So.
Yeah, you just gotta send it. Um,
Hmm.
uh, ultimately, I just want to tell you guys as well. If you have any questions for me or Charles separately, feel free to let us know as well. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. Um, and
Yep, yep.
yeah, I think another question I can bring up is what kind of influenced you guys to want to move into creation?
Uh, it's something I always kind of like been around, I guess. As far as like just creation, like not even Twitch or YouTube or anything like that. When it comes to like just creating things, um, I created a game board before. I created uh, another YouTube channel before the one I'm doing now. I've done trying to think what else. I mean, if you think of football as a type of like sports art type of art, I think. But I've always been like in a creative kind of mood, and but I never like finished my projects. Oh, I've also done like a bunch of other podcasts, but yeah. Anyways, I used the game board as an example. Was like that. I had like a bunch of sessions with friends and like was kinking around with the like how things worked and stuff, and I just never finished it because I was like, oh, I mean, this is cool and all, but like, I just gave up on it and like was afraid that like no one would really like it. Yeah, my friends are liking it, and it's probably is cool, but like I had that fear again, you know. But I think that's what it came from is like just being around that, being around artistic things, and then now I'm just like not wanting to quit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think? Kind of like, do you think there was purpose behind why you had a urge to want to create things for people?
Um, I think one thing I always grew up on was like wanting to like leave my name as like to feel like I've done something with my life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like creation is the best way to do that because like you did something that's yours. You're doing something that's your product, right? So I think that's always been in me to
Yeah,
do
Hmm.
stuff that's like has an artistic touch to it,
a little bit of
whatever it
pride, a
is.
little bit of legacy. Yeah, for sure. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. There's always like those names of those artists like thousands of years ago that still like hold their names because of their art and their creation. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are some of your guys' like inspirations, like people or things that you can like connect to?
Mm, that's big for me. Charles, you want to start there? Oh, you're
You're
muted.
muted.
Muted, Charles.
I'll start while he gets it figured out. For me, there's been a lot of people who inspire me. I think the ticket for creation for me personally is embedded in purpose. My purpose is I just want to be able to help people. You know, like life hasn't always been easy for me in anything. So I want to be able to create content that can uplift people and kind of help people navigate their way through their struggles. So the greatest people who've inspired me are the likes of like Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, you know, Barack Obama. When you look at these people who've struggled and the way that they've been able to create or go out of their realm and really kind of reach their potential through struggle is really incredible to me. So when you look at the people like that, like Bob Marley, just tons and tons of people I can name off. Even in sports, you can look at people in sports like Michael
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki. I'm a giant Dallas fan, so Dirk Nowitzki, people like that. Um, and if you look at it, like those people in their lives have gone through such scrutiny and struggle, but yet have chosen to persevere. And I think that's really incredible what they've been able to do with that.
So, hey, yo, am I good now?
We hear you.
You're all set.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sorry about that, yo. My
you're
stuff
good.
You're
is tripping.
good. You're good, dude.
But I wanted to say I love what you were saying. You know, you and Kobe and Mike about legacy and leaving things behind, because for me, I always felt like the artists are inspirations. Like once you create content and like really good content that people connect with, you live forever. Like a lot of artists are creators; they're kind of immortal. You hear their music or you read their comment, you see their content today, you read their books or whatever it is, but it lasts forever. Like that stuff goes on, and it influences, you know, people like us, like that want to like. For me, some of my greatest influences, you know, musically, um, I love Kanye West. I love uh, Lil Wayne. I love
Mm-hmm.
J. Cole, Drake. Those are like big musical influences. Bob Marley to go in older days, but mainly I'm trying to say is though like all of them influenced me in a way that I will know them forever. Like they will forever be a part of my life, and I just want to make sure like with what I'm doing, I can hopefully leave that mark on somebody. So I'm just glad that you guys brought that up and legacy, and like that's why I think it's important that you do create the content, because and that it turns out good, because you never know who could stumble upon it later in life and be like, wow, that shit was dope, you know.
Right. My mantra is kind of like all it takes is one. Like if you can do something to truly just impact one person, like I feel okay with that. If I can save one life, that is like so beautiful to me. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Who are some of the people who influence you guys, Kobe and Mod?
You got any, Kobe?
Oh
I got mine
man,
ready.
you go first. You go ahead.
All right. I got kind of like a Mount Rushmore of like people that I always remember. One of them, my big ones, was Bruce Lee. Me and my cousins like watched him like Die Hard for a long time. Watched all his movies, and like as I grew older, I realized that he was also a what's the word? I always forget the word. But someone who just, you know, talks
Amazing.
knowledge and stuff. I forgot the word of it. Philosopher, right?
Yeah.
His
Mhm.
philosophies were really cool to me as I got older. And another one was Bob Marley. My family's really big into Bob Marley. And then there's also a huge one for me, and also big in my family too, because I think my family has a lot of the same ones. Is Batman. His storytelling, the animated series. Growing up watching that as a cartoon as a kid, was really big for me. Pushed me to like want to. That actually made me want to draw and tell like great stories like that of like superheroes and stuff. So Bob Marley, Bruce Lee, Batman. I forgot who the other one was. Oh, Kobe Bryant. Yeah,
Mhm.
Rest in
That's it.
peace.
RP Mamba.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, dude, the worth ethic was definitely awe inspiring, you know. So yeah, those are my top four.
Nice.
But all of them come in like different ways. Like I mean, Bob Marley with music, obviously. Bruce Lee with his philosophies, and then I think Batman really touches on my art artistic ways and stuff like that.
Nice.
Some
Yeah,
goats
I
in
don't
there.
have, I don't have a crazy big list like you guys have, but for me it's I don't know. I mean, there's a couple people that really influence me, but then I guess it's like genres of like it's like categories of things that really like I guess motivate me,
Sure.
and whatever that content is, it gets me going. But to name a couple people, I mean, besides your Kanye Wests and your J. Cole's and artists like things like that, and Kobe Bryant, of course, huge like Kobe Bryant fan, my favorite athlete of all time. Rest in peace. I wasn't named after him, but like what he's like done for the world and mentally, and what he was on the path for women and stuff was really great. But the killer instinct, like to just like aggress, send it, and then live with the consequences no matter what. You know what I mean? To just go hard is something that like I've always really like respected. Not something I've always put into play in my life, but something that I want to like, as often as I can. But someone's mentality as of these days that really like um, gets a hold of me is Russell Wilson, the GOAT. Um, he always talks about, I'm forgetting who the philosopher is, but he always talks about staying neutral. So basically, staying neutral, staying in the moment, basically never being too high in your emotions, never being too low, staying grounded so that like you have poise. You have poise in any situation that comes, no matter what, no matter if it's extremely terrible, extremely great. Um, I don't know how to say, but you're just there in the moment, and I think that's that's like a thing that I guess that a lot of people have trouble with is like being in the moment and being present, um, getting anxious about the future or beating themselves up about their past and stuff like that. Um, another couple people, the last two people, it's from gaming. It's from if you guys know who Hamlins and Daquan are, they were these Fortnite players, and they really like set the tone for content in my eyes. I never knew about Twitch or stuff like really PC gaming until like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And the way they do content, the way that they touch people with like the way they troll and how funny they are is like really something that I relate to. Um, I think it's just a great form of content when you can make people laugh because not everyone can really do it.
Right.
So that's why I really respect comedians, and just funny people in general because it is not an easy thing.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, being a creator in general is not an easy thing, because there are some other things that come with it. Like people obviously are going to critique you. That's why art is like so difficult. Being an
Mhm.
artist, it takes a pretty strong mentality because at the end of the day, that's literally kind of your job to be critiqued. Like, is
So
someone
I
going
want
to
to
like
ask
what
you.
you're putting out?
Yeah, I want to. How do you guys deal with that? How do you guys deal with people critiquing your work? Does it bother you, or do you not care at all? Or I would love to hear that because for me, it's something I think about a lot whenever I do something.
Mhm.
I almost used to let it like hinder me. Like I'm so scared that what if someone doesn't like my stuff and that I just look dumb or am I right for this? And I deal with like these little things of doubt that creeps into your mind, these negativity. But I would love to hear your guys' experience with just dealing with people
Mhm.
critiquing what you do.
That's a great question. It's a great question. Mog, you want to go or
Sure.
me?
What I've done, and I think I've learned this not too long ago, is kind of create a team around yourself that you trust to critique your work honestly. Whether it's
Mm,
your friend that's a little bit too harsh, um, it's nice to have that friend that's a little bit too nice.
Mm.
That's gonna tell you nice things all the time, but like you're gonna need that friend that's too harsh and is gonna tell you that your shit's shit. Um, I think with that, everybody's gonna have opinions, but not everybody has the right opinion. Not everybody can critique things the way, um, you know.
yeah,
I think, and not everybody's gonna have the same taste you have. You gotta think that too. Even though somebody is somebody you trust, you're still gonna have different tastes from them, and doesn't mean just because they don't like it doesn't mean it's not gonna be good. I think when it comes to content creating, have a few people that you trust to critique your stuff. But at the end of the day, whatever you put out, just put it out, because at the end of the day, someone's gonna like it, and a lot of people are gonna hate it. So try not to listen to that. But like I said, if you could find a team of people that you trust, and I don't mean literally a team, like just like have some friends that you like their perspective on things. You like they showed you a movie, they showed you a video game, and you actually liked it, so that they have good taste. Have people like that around you.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on a couple things you said. I really liked a lot of what you said. You know, you do have to have people whose opinions you kind of respect, and I think that's kind of what you're getting at with like the team thing. Like, yeah, you gotta have people whose opinions you gotta respect, and I kind of used to fear that. You know, it's like, well, what if this person doesn't understand my opinion of like what I'm trying to give them? You know, like what if they don't want to trust me? You know, they're asking but they don't want to trust me. Or on the other end, what if I don't want to trust this person? And the key for me in that area was like I had to tell myself, if I'm truly telling this person like what they want to know for their best interest, then I have nothing to fear. Whether they take it personal, whether they get upset, whether I'm too harsh, whether I say something positive, because normally I am kind of that friend. I do say things like kind of bluntly. I'll be honest with you no matter what. And sometimes it's harsh, sometimes it's good. But I really had to understand that, like, I'm telling this person based on what I think is best for them, not what's best for me, what's best for them. And I think that kind of eased a lot of that.
That's real.
Right. Idris is that guy, dude. He will always tell you like what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And those are the kind of people like you need in your life to critique you. So Idris always talks about stabbing you in the front and then the back. So he'll let you know. So the more you're straight up with people, the better it'll be. When it comes to like criticism, dude, when I was younger, like growing up, let's say maybe like in my teens, dude, if someone criticized me, I was crying, dude. I was like, dude, what do you mean? I was taking it so personal, but I didn't know what that meant because no one would teach me like that it was like a good thing. I was just like hearing like something bad, and I was like, damn, you're kind of mean. We're done, you know. So I would take things very, very personally and stuff like that. But as I grew older, I realized it's like, firstly, like whatever you're putting out, whatever you're doing, like as long as you like it, firstly, enough to put it out, that's a plus. And then secondly, like you can't really harp on people's opinions too much, especially like the likes of random people. So like my content isn't to the point where it's reaching tons of random people, but I know when it gets to that point and I'm gonna get that criticism, like you know how people get like butthurt when they see like people talking smack about them on Twitter and stuff. Like I think I'll be pretty strong like mentally if I see a bunch of that stuff, because I know like there's a bunch of people that I'll never like really talk to and like build a real relationship with. So like their critiques won't like hurt me, but I'll try to take those best things and like, you know, patch myself up and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the opinion of people that like Mog is saying that are your friends or people on your team, people that you trust, like I treat those very like importantly and you know, adjust myself how I need to do. Or if it comes from someone random and they're critiquing you, kind of just look at who they are, like what's their what's their life looking like, what's their body of work that they've done, and assess like, is this someone that I should take their opinion from? Is this someone that I should listen to, you know? Or if not, someone that I don't listen to. So I guess it depends, and it's gonna be coming in the future where we'll see how it does really affect me. But I think it's nothing but good things, especially as time goes on, you know.
And I always think like you can never let the opinion of someone else like stop you from doing what you want to do, because there's always going to be someone out there that's like, nah, that a hater is what I like to call it. But I
Mhm.
love that you guys talked about like team, because I think creating is like a really collaborative effort. It's not like people think it's just, oh, one person. I'm gonna go out here and make this track, or I'm gonna go out here and get on the stream and get a bunch of. It's a lot of it is people around you and them like being on the same page as you, and it's not all one person, not just me or not just putting out this content. So I love that you said that. I love what you said, Kobe, about random people, and you know, they're always going to have an opinion, and to
Mhm.
liking you, as long as you enjoy what you put out, that's really the most important thing for me.
Right.
Because
That
and
content
that's how I do it.
that content may not be for that person who sees it negatively.
Right.
It's not always gonna be. But as long as it's something that like you feel is true to you and what you
Yeah.
want to put out and who you're trying to reach, it's fine. Like
It's
Right.
something you could be proud of.
and
What it's about.
couple people getting active in the chat. TV Slay said, "I always learn people are gonna say things whether
Yer.
you do good or bad in life." Yeah, hit him with a big yer. What's up?
You're
Appreciate you
what's
being
up,
here.
dog?
But yeah, I always learn people are gonna say things whether you do good or bad in life.
Exactly.
That's factual, and almost on the other end of the spectrum, when you do bad, or I'm sorry, when you do good, that's when all the haters are gonna come out. Like people are gonna be popping
Mhm.
out the woodworks out of nowhere. Like people you haven't
Mhm.
talked to in years. People you haven't talked to in years, or people who like genuinely don't have your best interest. They're gonna hit you with that like oh, why are you doing this? I think you should do this. Blah, blah, blah. You acting different. Blah, 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 blah. You know?
Mhm. Can I get some money?
Yeah, always trying to say something.
Low key, they gonna come around like, yo, is this still your number? Is
Yeah.
this still your number? I need some money. Yeah. Sorry. But thing about haters, man, is if you don't have any, like, you're doing something wrong. If you got some haters, you're doing
That's
something
wrong.
right. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's true.
I always say like this point is like the most fun part of being like a content creator, because you don't have the real, you don't have haters, you don't have random people just saying dumb shit about your work. Everybody that's like in this chat and
I mean, I
us
do,
is
but-
supporters, you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You always got people like that, but I mean, like, you know, right now it's like a lot of the time it's support. We don't. I'm not gonna post on Instagram and have a bunch of random people in my comments that I don't know. Like, dude, you know, like right now it's. I think this is a time like when you're just starting or when you're not blown up yet. It's time you can appreciate who's around, like who's actually supporting you. You can decipher that, like who's real fans, and like for me, I take it like if you're trying to start content, like anybody in the chat or that's listening, just go and do that shit, man, and you'll see the support come from those people around you. Like right now, like everybody in the chat's going crazy. You guys, it's there, and that's what drives me. Not worrying about anymore, like not worrying about some random person or a hater.
For
So,
real, you got to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and you can help each other go places and reach potentials that you never thought you would. Like this podcast, exactly. Like the four people in here, like Mike said, we've known each other for a long time, but we've never been one to like really honestly have a conversation, kick it, whatever. But we've been talking a lot, like the last 3 months, 4 months, like almost every day, and we've just been grinding together, helping each other, seeing each other grow, happy for each other, you know, and giving each other pointers, tips. We've developed that relationship, and same with everybody else here. Like you meet other people that you probably don't think you would. It's gonna lead to connections you don't think you would, but you start attracting like things that push you in the right direction just by you making that step.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Big facts.
big facts. Got some
That's
comments
100.
in the chat. Don't be scared. Got to start from somewhere. Yeah, for sure. Take that step forward. No one starts as an expert or famous. Got to grind and support each other for sure.
I think that's what's hard to see for everybody though, is like, you know, it's easier to find the big people, obviously, right? So that's like the way everything's designed. As far as like social media and stuff, like we're all gonna see the people who already made it. We're not gonna see their grind to get there.
Yeah.
I know, you know, especially music, I'm sure some of us have seen people grind to make it big. Mine personally was like Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. I started listening to him when he came out with his first song, and I saw him grind to like make it big, and now he's like making a bomb ass TV show called Atlanta. You know, um, that was cool to see his grind. You know, and unfortunately we don't get to see that a lot because it's harder to find those small when they're small. You know what I mean?
Man, being like a content creator, like I'm bad at Idris, but I was gonna say like that's all I think about now. Even I see athlete, anybody successful, I don't even look. I look like, dang, I respect you because I know what it took to get there. You know, I don't think people just get big overnight and blow up. Like I know there's work. Everybody, you have to work.
Right, right. It's like that. It's like that iceberg thing. You know, they always show that analogy where you only see the tip of the iceberg, and everybody's always so shocked and like, oh my god, that's crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
the actual like 95% of the iceberg is still below the water, and no one sees. That's all the determination, the hard work, the perseverance. The negative thoughts, everything that just leaches into your brain, and you still have those days. But I think that's really cool on a level of being a content creator. Like when you see somebody else doing it in the grind, it's like, I see you, I know what you're going through. Keep it up. Like we're all rooting for you. It doesn't even matter that like we're not in the same category. Like, but I know the grind that you're going through as a musical artist because the mentality of things is similar because you're still grinding.
It's all the same. It's that Mamba mentality.
That Mamba mentality, yes
You
sir.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Josh Jacobs' story
That's
touches
why I
my
love
soul
Kobe
to the
Bryant.
T. No, I haven't looked into Josh Jacobs' story. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
And Joey God bless said Mog is right, and that's what really hurts. That's what really hurts those who are starting out. They don't see progress right away, and they get discouraged. Yeah, gotta take your time. Joey God bless with 200 bits. What a legend, the Biddy Bomb. Always
Thank
coming through.
you.
Yeah, thanks, man. One of my good
Shout out
friends, Joey.
Booze.
Shout out Booze. That's Big
Mhm.
Joey from high school. If y'all don't know, and he's out there doing his thing. It doesn't always have to be um, necessarily a form of creativity that other people can admire as well. Art is a thing of perspectives, right? So what we view as art and content as like streamers, musicians, whatever, someone else can see their form of art differently as well. You know, um, with their family. I kind of got this idea from what Kobe was saying earlier with categories and things like that. It doesn't necessarily always have to be a so structured thing. You can receive content and receive inspiration from different things like families, relationships, because all these things are things that people put effort into, and in a way, it's kind of artistic. What do you guys think
Yeah.
about that?
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's
I feel
beautiful.
like anything could like touch someone depending on like how they're constructed chemically. Like they could look outside and look at the cloud and be like, "Damn, I'm inspired," and they could, they could make some art out of that. Because it'll change their mood, change how they're feeling, and they'll do something about it. So it really depends on the person, and of course, like it's really easy to relate to people because they're people, they're talking, they're doing like something, and you see that, and you're like, wow, okay, so like them as a whole is very inspiring. But you can get inspired by the littlest, randomest things, and that's what mostly gets me. That's why it's hard to name a lot of people because a lot of random things will just inspire me. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody has
No,
little ticks that are different.
I take
We're built
inspiration from
different.
like everything, every person, every relationship I encounter. Like even you guys inspire me. Like those close to me, my family. So it's just looking. I think it's all like you said, perspective of who you want to be and what you're trying to accomplish, and you can find that, and you can find inspiration in anything, anyone, if you're looking for it. If you're looking to be inspired, you're gonna find it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember exactly what law it was, but it was like if you focus on something, you start to see more of that. Which now I'm gonna mess up everybody who's in chat. Like you probably don't see the color blue a lot, like just naturally because you're just going through your motions. But now that I just put it in your brain, you're probably gonna start to notice things that are blue, like, and that's the analysis. Like, I'm gonna use that because what you focus on is what you feed. If you're feeding negative, you're gonna see negative. If you're focused on positivity and thankfulness, as we just passed Thanksgiving, things like that, you're gonna see those things, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
just kind of appear in random places which you wouldn't have normally.
Yep. If you're trying to buy a Tesla, you go on the road, you're gonna see Teslas.
Yeah, you're gonna see Teslas everywhere now. So now you're gonna see the color blue.
Man.
You're gonna see Teslas everywhere.
You're gonna see blue
Sorry, chat.
Teslas everywhere. Sorry.
You're gonna see them everywhere.
That's so true, Kobe. So true, bro. I got my car and I was like, I never seen nobody in this car. Next thing you know, I see
Mhm.
everybody in my car.
You're like,
bro.
oh, he got my
crazy.
car, they got my car, oh, they all got my car.
Yeah, I'm not special. I'm basic. Nah,
That's funny. It's gonna sound kind of
Hey.
crazy, but I was having a conversation with someone and he was dropping a bunch of like deep like Greek like stuff, and I'm not like that deep and stuff, but he was basically talking about how basically everything in the world was manifested off like thoughts and energy that was just like they were thinking that they wanted that thing to come up. They're like thinking about, like, say you want like a tree to come out, you're like, oh, I'm thinking about the tree. I want a tree to sprout. And then so one day someone planted some whatever tree stuff and then a tree popped out. So like you definitely manifest like what you're thinking about, and like because everything was manifested that we have, that we see, things that we use. Like this mouse was manifested by someone thought about it, someone created it, and then boom, it's right there, people use it. So I feel like everything is just like starts as a thought, and then it's like that energy, and then you manifest it, and then it becomes something that hopefully used for a good purpose. You know what I mean? Sounds very random and crazy, but I kinda
I actually
believe in
believe
that.
that. That's what I believe. I don't think it's crazy.
Hey,
That's my belief system. I take that as like a universal thing. Like if you want it, you have to know what you want. You have to see it, and like that becomes your mental focus. Like that's what your vision. You wake up, and that's what drives you. And so I agree with you 100%, Cody. I believe the energy we put out is the energy that we get back. So it's not crazy. It's not crazy. I'm a big believer in manifestation.
what do you guys think about like people being called crazy or labeled insane, as a creator or as someone that has done a lot, but the majority of, or not the majority of people, but like a big group of people are like they're insane, like they're out of they're mentally ill. They're Kanye West. You know what I mean?
I'll go ham on
But he's
this.
not ill. He's not ill. He's not ill. But
Yeah, y'all know me. I love Kanye West. Like, and people call him insane. He is so. People say he's crazy. His mental issues, whatever. But
They do.
I don't view it that way. I've seen interviews, stuff like that, and I don't view him that way. I think if you get called crazy or insane, you should take that as a compliment. You know, and the reason why is because if you are one of those people who gets called crazy, insane, it's just you're misunderstood. And in Kanye West's example, like he's reached such a level of like perspective and creativity that other people who aren't on the same wavelength just can't understand what he's trying to put out. Because what we just talked about, manifestation. If you're not on the same wavelength or looking for those things, you're just gonna hear random words he's saying. You're not actually hearing the facts he's spitting. You're not paying attention to the analogies that he's dropping, and because of that, people think he's crazy. But at the end of the day, he's really not. And just to give you some other examples of people who've been called crazy, like Albert Einstein, people thought he was insane, but he's not insane. He's a genius. When you look at some of the top categories of the world, like Elon Musk, people think Elon Musk is an absolute nutcase. They say he's socially awkward. They say he doesn't know how to speak to people. He's crazy. He gave his baby some crazy name. But that's not the case. He's just on a higher level of thinking that other people don't understand.
Right. Jeff Bezos was trying to. Sorry to interrupt, Charles, but Jeff Bezos was trying to find partners to create Amazon and invest in him, and he went to like I don't know how many hundreds or so people, but they all said no to him. Like, no, you're crazy. This Amazon thing is just not gonna work out. Like, but they just didn't see didn't see the
They didn't
vision.
see
You
the
know, because
vision.
most people think he's crazy. Like most people just won't see. They won't open up that image that you're trying to paint. You know, mentally, and that's why like Kanye West, like I feel like has more thought process than maybe like a million people combined. You know, like the average
Yeah.
person. You know what I mean? So just that's why they're
Yeah.
crazy.
I just
I think, you
want to
know,
poke something in real quick. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. If you're just getting here, we're talking about what it means to be a content creator. What kind of inspires you to do that, and kind of talking about that. So thank you guys for being here. Go ahead, Charles.
yeah. So all the people you guys named, to me, like they all have something in common. They did something different. They went against the mold. When you go
Mhm.
against the mold, when you go against, you know, with the societal norms, or you did things in your own way, or you speak how you feel passionately and you believe in it, and it's not a common belief, you will get called crazy. But like, that's not what crazy is, though. Like, I think we throw that term around as people when we don't understand that person's crazy. I'm going to dismiss what they're saying. Like, a crazy person is like a murderer. That is a crazy person. Like a serial killer that's a crazy person. That's someone who's crazy. Not a Kanye West. Kanye West isn't crazy. He just believes something different than you. He believes something different than us, and that doesn't make him crazy. Crazy is like I think your actions is what makes you crazy. Like, are you doing really obscene things? And that's why I don't know. I hate when people call someone crazy just because you don't understand. That's why I'm very passionate about it.
Mike, I know we've got you quiet over there for a bit. Sorry.
I'm just listening to all this great conversation. I'll jump in. I'll jump in when I have something to say. But I mean, like y'all covering all the bases. You know, have any of you guys been like, because you started streaming and stuff? No one's gonna outrightly call you crazy, but have you ever told somebody you're doing this and then they gave you the look that, like, you know, they don't really trust that you're gonna go far, or
Like sus look.
like,
Yeah, I love that look.
I've had that look with streaming, maybe not as much as I expected. But in the past, when I've said and done a lot of things, yes, I've had that so much. Like, people are like, "Oh, you're not gonna do that." Like, "Oh, you're deciding to."
Hmm.
Like, for instance, I stepped away from my family business for a long time, and people were like, "You're gonna step away from your family business? Like, why would you do that?" It's just like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm like, "You just don't understand. Like, that mission isn't for me right now. Like, I got something else to go on." So I think over time, like, I haven't received so much of that now with streaming, but I think that's probably because I've been able to show, like, I'm gonna go against the grain. Like, it's just gonna happen with me, and I'm gonna put actions behind it, so people don't really doubt me too much anymore. But I still have some of those looks occasionally.
Yeah.
Hmm.
For me, it's like, you know what it is, and you say, "Oh yeah, I do music," you automatically get that look. Like, oh, okay, because everybody tries to do music, you know. And
Hmm.
for me, I got that a bunch when I first started saying, and then those people that eventually gave me that look, like, we don't know what that look mean. Like, you gave me that look, and now I've put out more music and I've shown them. I see that change too. I've seen that look go the other way, and that's what's like really inspiring. Somebody who didn't necessarily think you could do it before, now through your work and through getting better, you show them a product and now you change their mind. Like, that stuff is that's like one of the greatest feelings can get as a content creator, you know. Just, and I even now, like, when I show, yeah, I do music, I'll show them a video and be like, "That's you? No, that's you. That's you right there." And like, wow, this is really good. That's really good. And hearing that, it's driving, because I know you're doubting me, you know, and I know that's like a thing with content creation. I know you don't think I can do it, but now I'm gonna not tell you through my words. I'm gonna show you through my actions
Hmm.
and get you to believe.
Right. Like one of those I'm gonna prove you wrong and prove me right kind of things.
Really good question. Fire question. What about
Yeah, great.
I had a guy at work one time. He was like, "Oh yeah, I do a podcast." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And like, he's like the camera guy for my job, so he has like professional as shit. Not gonna lie, But then I was like, oh, let me see your stuff. I'm like, oh, it's cool. It's cool. And I was, it was actually really good. I mean, his editing was like okay, but like as far as like production, camera's clear, mic's clear, and his topics are, they're okay. And then I was like, oh, he was like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh, I stream. He was like, you do something right because you know a lot about this. And I was like, yeah, I just stream on Twitch, play video games, stuff like that. And I showed him, like he kind of looked at me and was like, oh, okay, like he was all like hotshot, like, oh yeah, I got 6 subscribers on YouTube. And I was
Bug.
like, yeah, like check out my stuff. And like he like checked out one of my VODs. He goes, oh, what kind of mic is that? I was like, it's just a USB mic. Like, I'm not using anything special. This guy's all decked out with a Go XLR and everything. But like you could tell, like I mean that's like a kind of weird example because this guy's actually like in it. I think you get the most looks from people that are in it. That didn't follow their dreams and didn't aspire to do that because like they felt that fear and they didn't want to try it, so they just gave up and stayed on the norm. It's when I think and that's okay because like those people aren't really going to go anywhere, right? And then you have the people that are going somewhere or at least trying to, but then they persuade people, like kind of push people off, like be like, oh, you're doing this too, you don't look like you do that. I feel like when you are on this path, you got to like grab people with you and inspire people to do better and more, right?
Facts.
Facts.
You exposed a whole lot of
That's
people.
That's what it's
Mhm.
about.
So yeah, it's a little like disheartening when you find somebody that's like, trying to do the same thing you do, and they just like kind of feel like they're the hot shot, stuff like that. Instead
Right.
of like, oh, like my conversation is like, oh, whenever I find
Yeah.
somebody, it's like always like, hey, let's just collab. I'm not big. I'm not or too small to like collab with anybody. I feel.
Yeah.
Like
That's always
you have
like been
something
my
to
mindset.
offer. You're trying. Yeah, like we're trying to make each other better. We're supposed to help each other, not you feel like you can look
Not
down on me.
flex.
I
Saying
feel that.
Instagram,
Yeah,
I ain't
don't
flexing
flex with
out
your
here.
6 subscribers.
He was tripping.
That is
That's what
not
I'm
a
saying.
flex.
Yeah, that reminds me a bit of that other podcast I just listened to, which I don't know if you guys got a chance to tune in, but that big one that streamers do, it was like Brain Rex, Tfue,
Oh yeah,
XQC.
Trainwrecks podcast.
There was a ton. They had like 15 people, but they were talking about a segment where they were kind of talking about following your dream a little bit, and I just want to reiterate a bit of it. Um, First of all, none of us in this podcast are telling you to drop out of school to chase your dreams, right? We're not telling you to like destroy something, to go chase your dreams. But we're not telling you to give up on your dreams either. Like, make sure what you have in place is able to sustain you moving forward with that. Like, you don't have to necessarily throw away your dream and focus 100% on school, but make sure you got your basics down. Make sure you have everything down, and then you can take yourself up to a further level. You have to take care of yourself first, right? You can't just throw everything out the window. Very rarely do people actually make it like that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, basically keep your day job kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's. I've heard both though. I'm not gonna ever advocate for someone to quit school or quit their job. I'm not gonna ever say like that's the best decision to make. Like that is on your personal. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your personal. You have to look at your own life. But I have read about artists and like creators saying like, yeah, Steve Harvey, for example, he's like, I was working this job and I eventually had to like say, what do I love to do? And he quit his job because he said he was tired of looking at his dream as like a plan B, and he couldn't achieve it while working at it. So I've heard like stories of people like, I'm just gonna go all in. I have no money. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sink or swim. But I'm I'm not gonna, like I said, tell people to quit their job, and that's on your own life. But I have heard it working for some other people.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that as well, and I'm not saying like that exactly. I'm just saying more so specifically, school doesn't always equate to success, but it doesn't mean you have to give it up either. Find your
Mhm.
definition of success, make sure you can do so, and find what works for you. If you have
Mhm.
people relying on you, to like for livelihood and things like that, take all that into account. You can't just
Yeah.
can't just dump everything out the window. Follow your
Right.
dreams. Make sure you do so in a healthy way.
Right. They're both good. Just one's more extreme. One's a more extreme route than the other. Yeah, you can still make it both ways.
I think it's
I think
important to like,
sometimes. Go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say I think it's just important to like have the vision for yourself. Like, what do you want to be? That's all I was gonna say. Like, what is it that you see for yourself? And when you have that vision, then it's easier to make those little decisions.
I think it took a I think a lot of times like we think of it as like movies, like if we have to drop everything just to make this dream come true and stuff like that. But a lot of times like you could work on your dream while working on your regular day job, And I think sometimes
Mhm.
like we need to stop thinking that this is like a movie. Some situations, of course, like there are going to be some times where you do have to drop everything to fulfill that dream. But I think those are rare occasions, and I think some people want to think of it like that too much, and maybe that's like their excuse because they're afraid to do that. Like you could a lot of times like the worst thing I lose in doing this is I lose some sleep because I stream late. Well, not late for you guys, but late for me, right? And I wake up super early. But like, I mean, that's the only thing I'm sacrificing, and time
Real.
with my girlfriend, unfortunately. But that's my thing to deal with.
Yeah.
But it's not like I have to give up my job to do this. It's not like I have to make some big sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
I feel like
what?
bad. I just
Go
said
ahead.
like what you said. Like, I feel like nobody's like gonna even to hit that point. You already have been doing it for a bit. Like if you're getting to the point where you have to quit your job now, that's because it's working. What you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna just start and quit your job. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start streaming, making music. See you later, boss. Like that's not how that's not how it works.
Yeah, that was my main point. Don't just drop everything tomorrow and be like, I'm
Yeah.
going on this new adventure.
I think I had a talk with myself about that. Well, I had a talk with me and my girl. And how far do I have to make it in this to quit my day job? And I was thinking I have to at least make $4,000 a month to quit my day job.
See, but I think
That's my
looking
goal.
stuff
That's my
like
goal.
that up
That's a
is
blessing.
like dope because
Mhm.
you're giving yourself like an actual number. You're giving yourself like actual projections to look forward. You're kind of mentally preparing yourself, and in a way, you're kind of investing further in your own dream by doing that because you
Mhm.
know what your outcome is gonna. You know what your outcome you're trying to reach, and you know what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
What you need to do. So I think doing those things, mentally preparing for those kind of things is for sure. Kind of what you were saying with the Steve Harvey thing. Like I guarantee you Steve Harvey like was mentally preparing day and day like, okay, I need to
Yeah.
start taking it serious 7 days a week outside of work. And then once I do that, then I can start looking into getting rid of my job, doing this, whatever. You know, and finding different
Facts.
ways to reinvest it. Like you know what I'm saying. You know what it is.
Yeah. So you said an interesting thing, Mike, about your relationship, and I deal with the same thing as a content creator, and like I want to talk about like, a little bit of the challenges too, because some of the relationships you have with people in your life, like when you create content, like you will have to make sacrifices because of it, and I think that's like something a lot of people don't see either, is the relationships that you sacrifice. Because I get me and my girl, like we talk about it, like it takes time to create content. Like you're on the computer a lot, or you may not be able to go out to like and hang out with your friends, or there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into creating content. And I want to know, what do you guys think about that? Dude?
It's been really, I'll be honest, it's been really hard. Um, she definitely supports me, um,
Mhm.
and wants me to succeed. I mean, me succeeding is her having a pretty good life, not to be honest, right? Um,
Right. Exactly.
so I mean, same thing for me, obviously. So obviously we both want that, but it does come hard because like there'll be times we made plans, a small plan, like we're gonna watch a movie tonight or something like that. I'm like, oh, there's an event going on at last minute, you know, I got to get on, you know. Yeah, we'll fight a little bit, or sometimes she's cool about it. But even though she's cool about it, I understand that this is not what she wanted, you know, and it's
Yeah.
a give and take. I think you just have to be like when I started this, I told her straight up like, um, I'm not gonna have a lot of time. I'm not gonna um quite honestly probably be the best boyfriend, right? Because I'm not gonna be there 24/7 to hang out and do all the family stuff and do all the things. And
But when you
she
make it, you're gonna be the best husband though.
Right.
Hey.
hopefully, but yeah, I mean, I had that talk with her, and she was like, you know, go follow your dreams. I'm like, for sure. She's down with it. I mean, yeah, again, we still argue here and there about certain things, and that's, you know, gonna come with it, obviously. But yeah, we I think the best thing, as in any relationship, we communicate really well. So I think that's what's
Yeah.
you know, working for us.
And I love how you said that, man. Communication is so important because I deal with the same issues, you know, and that's why I think because it's like universal. Like these are just natural problems that arise because, of course, like these people love you, they want to be with you as much as they can, but you know, we also have an obligation to ourselves and to you to put in this work, and that's the sacrifice that comes with us into them. And I just wanted to like, I thank you for sharing that. I do. I think it's very helpful. Um,
I just want to
so- so-
add a bit in there. Like I completely agree with what you were saying. And yeah, I do appreciate you sharing that. Yo, Joey, God bless, gifting some subs. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Um, I know. I had this discussion a couple of days ago because someone posted a picture talking about how like how is Beyonce married to Jay-Z? Like, because basically they were saying Jay-Z's ugly and whatever, you know, like that typical thing. And I said, you know why? Because success is attractive, winning is attractive. So, on the end of kind of what you're saying, like I feel like it does have benefits in a relationship when when somebody in the party is like focused on something goal oriented, dream oriented, because you get to see like real development as a person. You get to see growth. Like I can only talk about myself, so like um I could talk
uh,
about like how I've grown as an individual, how I've grown like as a
We
man,
live,
you know, how I've
baby.
wanted to become a better man, a better speaker, you know, and my moods improve because like I'm starting to reach goals that I want and things like that. So it is a little bit of push and pull, but when you're like focused on something and you're growing, I think that can play a big growing factor in a positive relationship as well.
mhm.
Hopefully that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, it's like and I think these are just things like people don't think of, like when you create content, and for anybody that wants to, like it's starting it is like the most important thing, like just getting up, doing it, and then staying with this, staying consistent, and being able to have that communication with the people in your life, whoever it may be, is like key because to get things done, like you need that support system at home, and you need that, like you need, if you're going to be around, you need that support system at home to keep going, because if you don't have that, it does become very hard. So just having like great people around you, whether it be your girl or your friends, and like having that to like, okay, even if I want to hang out with you tonight, because me and my girl, we argue about this all the time, but then at the end of the day, it's not an argument. It's just like, okay, this is what it is. Like, I know you have to do this, but so just having that and being able to like communicate that with the people in your life, and they understand that this is important to you, like it's really important, and it's one of the things people don't see with content creating, like that's part of the grind, it's part of the mental grind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a good show, man. So it's running like, it's like running over an hour now. It's
We
been
are
a
over
great,
an
great.
hour, and how do you guys feel? You guys still okay? You got some questions you want to ask? You want to start wrapping it
I'm
up?
trying to think of ones, but I can't really think of any questions right now. You got
Okay.
one, Kobe?
If
I'm
anybody in the
vibing,
chat
dude.
has questions too, please feel free to ask. Um, whether it's on topic or off topic, we appreciate y'all being here. I do this show with Big Rocket every week, every Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific. And eventually, like I said, we want to move into doing more relevant things as far as video reactions with current things, stuff like that. So if you guys have any content for us that you'd like to see us react to, because hopefully you find our content decent, please join the Discord. Drop some videos in there. Let us know. Or if you have anything that you
Yeah.
want to share, if you have any content that you personally create and you want to share and you want us to see, we'll definitely put you on.
And make sure y'all go follow Mogwai and Sponge Kobe as well. Like amazing people, amazing guests. Like
I'll,
I love conversating with you guys, man. For real. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank
I'm
you guys.
dropping
It was very fun.
I'm dropping their Twitch
Yeah.
in the chat right now. So
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
We appreciate you guys, man.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys want to let us know where everyone can find you guys? 'Cause I think we got maybe a few more viewers.
I mean, at Sponge Kobe on everything. I have the same username everywhere. Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. That name is, I got all the rights to the name, baby.
Mine's Mogwai SP. Just Twitch and Twitter for now. Still growing.
Yep. Any final thoughts if you guys want to add, feel free to. Thank y'all so much for being here again.
I think the biggest way, if you're an aspiring content creator, I think the biggest thing that we can all agree to is that you just gotta just not be afraid and just do it, even if it's crap you're putting out. That's the best way to learn, and that's the only way you're gonna learn. You're not gonna get better by not putting anything out. If you're sitting there wanting to do this, but you know you have that fear that you're not putting out the best product, just try your best and put out whatever you can. Watch it back, improve that way. Yeah.
Agreed.
Send it.
Beautiful.
Send it
Just
always.
start.
Yeah.
Start.
That's gonna do our show. Thank y'all so much. Someone just plugged my Discord and my YouTube. If you want to join, feel free to. The YouTube, I post the VOD of the podcast every week. So if you're not able to make the show, feel free to subscribe. We drop it on there every week. Typically, we keep our shows within a 45 minutes to an hour. We've gone a little bit long here, but it's cool. We got some good guests. Good guests create good content. Good content is always a pleasure to stick around with. So thank y'all again once